Rockville. Welcome to Rockville's 11. I'm your host, Bridget Breuer. This is the Countdown News Show where we give you the top 11 stories happening in the city. Here's some of the stories we're counting down. Lunar New Year, one-on-one with Councilmember Gajewski, and a Citizen Police Training Academy. That's all coming up next on Rockville's 11. Ever wonder what it takes to be a Rockville City police officer? Well, now we have a little bit of a better understanding after attending a recent graduation of the Citizen Police Training Academy. And this is coming in as our number 11 story.
Easy ways of tracking these guys are their MySpace accounts.
A group of citizens just had a front row seat to policing in Rockville through a 10-week Citizen Training Academy course, a program that's very important to Chief Terry Trushik.
I think it's another level of community outreach to let people know what the police department does, why we do the things we do, and also to answer the questions that people have about when they see a police officer going down the street with the lights on, what does it really mean? They get to see the equipment, they get to do a ride-along. They've met some of a lot of our officers, our canine personnel. They had a night where we brought them out for an interactive decision-making shoot-don't-shoot scenario, and they spent 2 or 3 hours doing that to see what it was like for the instant decisions that police officers have to make on the street.
Citizens enrolled in the free program walked away with a better understanding of police work.
It's been wonderful. I have learned so much. I cannot believe what the knowledge these officers have to have. I just had no idea.
It was amazing. I mean, I think the Rockville Police did an excellent job of showing us what they do, and it makes me proud to be a citizen of Rockville.
Topics covered in the class included traffic law, street crimes, canine patrol, and firearm safety. Police department recruits have even been found through the program, according to Corporal Ken Matney.
We actually have a corporal on the department now who went through a class. While in the class, said many times he had no interest in becoming an officer, but by the end of it, I believe within a year of the academy, he actually got employed by the city, and he's worked his way up to a corporal.
Yes, exactly.
I need 7. Thank you. I loved seeing the bomb dog. I took a fingerprint off of something. I thought that was great. I just like the whole experience. It's been good. Anybody should do it.
Thank you.
The city's celebration of Lunar New Year is right around the corner. We had the chance to check in with Asian Pacific American Task Force member John Lin to get a preview on this year's event. Last year's Lunar New Year's celebration proved to be a huge success, taking place at the F. Scott Fitzgerald Theater. And this year, the excitement is building yet again for the city's celebration of the 3rd annual event. John Lin of the Asian Pacific American Task Force stopped by City Hall to tell us what to expect at this year's event.
They've never been to the New Year celebration. They're going to be shocked because last year we have so many different performance groups, and the quality of those groups is almost the Radio City quality and really first-class performance.
The event is free and celebrates the Asian New Year.
Lunar New Year is the old calendar year that most of the Asians are using, and use the animals. Every 12 years you rotate and go back to the first one. So next year will be a rabbit, and this year is a tiger.
Lunar New Year is just one of the outreach programs sponsored by the Asian Pacific American Task Force, a group established in 2008 by the Mayor and Council in an effort to strengthen ties between the Asian American community and the city.
We'd like to put in the time to bridge the communication between the Asian communities and the city. Most of the Asians, they care mostly about their business, their jobs and other things. They really have no clue what the city is doing. Vice versa. Most of the Asians, when they think about the Maryland side, they want to come over here. They think about Rockville. So this is the center. If you haven't been to this event before, you gotta see it, because we have a lion dance, and then we also have a red ribbon dance, and many different singers, and I guarantee you they're like professionals.
This year's Lunar New Year event is happening Saturday, February 12th at the F. Scott Fitzgerald Theater and Social Hall at Rockville Civic Center Park, located at 603 Edmonston Drive. The event is sponsored by the Mayor and Council and the Asian Pacific American Task Force. To learn more about the task force or Lunar New Year, go online to rockvillemd.gov. Now for our regular segment on Rockville's 11, it's Mayor and Council One-on-One. This time, we check in with Councilmember Peter Gajewski. We had the chance to sit in on a recent Rockville Youth Commission meeting. It's a group that's important to Councilmember Peter Gajewski.
This is a terrific education opportunity because they learn about our form of government and how decisions get made and such. And frankly, there's a value to the city because the kids bring to the whole exercise a different perspective than mayor and council ever hears otherwise. And at the end of the day, you know, we're trying to lead the city for the future, and the future is the kids. So it's a very valuable perspective.
The meetings tackle some of the same topics discussed at mayor and council meetings.
We've talked about topics, hot topics like the Red Gate Golf Course, and we've talked about the branding exercise that the city is going through and trying to figure out what direction we'll take on that. And the kids are really, they have very interesting point of views.
Troy Trin sits on the commission and appreciates the opportunity to discuss significant issues.
It's really funny because you would think that a bunch of students wouldn't have that much to say, but when you walk into that conference room during the meeting, it's like a heated debate every week, and it's awesome. I really have a chance to say my ideas in a way that's different from just talking to my parents or even to a teacher. It's like talking to your peers about issues that really matter.
Montgomery County teacher Randy Alton oversees the commission.
The Youth Commission is made up of 5 local high schools: Wooten, Walter Johnson, Gaithersburg High School, Richmond, Montgomery, and Rockville. We're also fortunate to have 3 at-large seats. We have 1 student from Holton Arms and 1 student that is homeschooled. And the essence of that Rockville Youth Commission is to really look at some of the issues that the city itself is wrestling with. And we do try to provide a broad range of issues such as the pedestrian safety, land use. We're going through the budget process. At the same time, the city is going through it. And we're also looking at how the county is going through the budget process. We really do tackle, Councilmember Gajewski does a great job of bringing forward to the youth exactly some of the burning issues that they're wrestling with. And we actually replicate a vote, which really brings home, I think, the difficulty and challenges that it has to be an elected official. The students that we have are extraordinary in terms of their ability to cognitively process.
Randy Alton is a wonderful citizen who comes before the mayor and council frequently and tells it to us like it is, and always has a point of view, and it's wonderful to hear, and has some very specific interests about pedestrian safety and such, and we're always interested in hearing him. High schoolers are the future leadership of our country, our states, and our municipalities. And it's wonderful for them to understand how government works and how you can improve life here in Maryland or here in Rockville specifically.
The Rockville Youth Commission consists of 15 members in grades 9 through 12 who either live in the city of Rockville and or attend school in the city. Participants will serve a 1-year term and may apply for reappointment through a formal process. For more information, go online to rockvillemd.gov and search Youth Commission. The city is getting ready to celebrate its annual MLK Day, and this is coming in as our number 8 story. Every year, the city's Neighborhood Resources Division partners with the Human Rights Commission to host the annual Martin Luther King Jr. celebration for the community. This year's free event includes a keynote address by ABC anchor Maureen Bunyan, along with a lineup of entertainers. The event is scheduled for Monday, January 17th at noon at Richard Montgomery High School, and the full production of the program will be available on Rockville 11 on cable and online on the city's website at rockvillemd.gov. Rockville's Pike Envision a Great Place is ramping back up again with a presentation of the draft plan scheduled to happen this month at a joint session with the Mayor and Council and Planning Commission. We had the chance to check in with Chief of Long Range Planning, David Levy, to find out more about the process.
As folks probably remember, there were lots of public meetings. There were reports from our consultant team discussing analysis that have been conducted. That has been all brought together into draft document. Actually, there have been drafts for staff review, and we've given extensive comments so that it's clearer and presented in a better way. So what we're about to have is a release of the document, and what we really want is the citizens to review, read, and tell us what they think about it.
Well, I know that during the charrette process and open houses, there was a lot of energy around this project. Are you hoping for that same amount of citizen involvement with this draft being released?
We are, actually. It's not going to be the same kind of interaction that it has been. There will be a presentation at Mayor and Council, and there will be a public presentation on January 11th, Richard Montgomery High School. And what we really want is people to look at the document and read it. It's going to be available online, electronically, and here for review in hard copy. But what's important is that people have to see whether the input that they gave, combined with the analysis, produces a set of recommendations that reflects what they think ought to be for Rockville. And then they should speak at the public hearing. They should give written testimony. This is what we really need from people now. Tell us what you think of this draft document.
So the draft is really more of a kind of a fluid situation. I mean, people shouldn't think of it as being set in stone right now.
Absolutely not. No, this is the draft. So just to set people in terms of what it is the plan for the Rockville Pike corridor, which begins at the southern border of the city, around Boo Avenue, up to around where Richard Montgomery High is next to 355, and the land around it. It's not just the road, it's the land around it, and how it gets used and built or not built. And when it gets adopted or approved, if it gets adopted or approved by the Planning Commission and the Mayor and Council, it becomes part of the city's master plan. It is a master plan element, and it gives guidance to all we city staff and builders, developers, everybody on what the city's policies are with respect to this area. It also gives guidance on what infrastructure improvements we would want to see along those areas. And just to give a little preview, for those who came to some of the public meetings, there's a recommendation to convert the Pike from what it is now, just kind of a suburban commercial strip, into much more a boulevard, which would be much more accessible for pedestrians, cyclists, much more a nicer place to be. I mean, that's the goal. The goal is to take this place where lots of people go to, and they know lots of people go to because it's crowded and difficult to navigate and not always the most fun experience. Convert that into something that you say, yes, this is a place that I really like, I want to be at. I'm going to park my car and I'm going to get out and promenade or walk. I'm going to shop and support businesses because I want to be here. And as we know, there are increasing amounts of people living in buildings in the Pike area, not just in Town Square, which is north of this planning area, but further south in Congressional Village and Twin Brook Station. We know what's happening around the metro station. So the goal here is to make this a great place.
Tell me a little bit, David, about some of the analytical work that's gone into this draft and on the part of your staff and other departments in the city in terms of, for example, traffic on the Pike.
Right. So one of the things that the original analysis called out, again, for folks who came to the public meetings, some of the intersection, this is no big news, everybody, there's traffic on the Pike, that some of the intersections along Rockville Pike are, depending on the time of day, at failing as we judge intersections within the city of Rockville. You'll know where they are along Congressional and Halpine and other intersections along there. It gets very busy in the afternoons during the week. Certainly on Saturdays, if people have experienced that. The analysis that was done was to try to understand how that has an interaction with the ability for sites to redevelop. For the vision to take place as recommended by the consultant team, which is what we'll all be discussing, certain sites will almost certainly need to be redeveloped. That's the way the vision happens. If the redevelopment can't happen, then the vision can't happen. So this analysis helped to make a linkage between the traffic capacity that's on the road and the ability for redevelopment to happen. It's been embodied in a technical memorandum that's an appendix to the draft document, so folks will be able to read the results and conclusions of it. The biggest thing of all is We want to hear what you have to say. That is the number one thing. So we have helped to kind of pull together points of view during the public processes with the consultants, but it really comes down to what do the citizens of Rockville, the businesses in Rockville, the property owners in Rockville, what do you see as the vision going forward? And we won't know unless you tell us. So take a look, read it, and give us your input. And come to the public hearing or give us written input.
To learn more about Rockville Pike, go online to rockvillemd.gov and search Rockville Pike. It might be cold outside, but things are heating up for Rockville's Rec and Park staff as they're getting ready for summer camp. And this is coming in as our number 6 story. Rockville summer camps are affordable, fun, and offer a variety of programs and classes for kids. The city's camps offer a chance for creativity, fitness, and fun for kids ages 3 to 14. This year, you will not be receiving a guide to your house, but you can go online to find out about class descriptions and pricing. Be sure to go online to rockvillemd.gov to check out everything that summer camps programs have to offer. The District 17 delegation recently discussed the upcoming legislative session with members of the mayor and council, and this is coming in as our number 5 story. City officials have identified 4 priorities for the 2011 General Assembly session that begins January 12th, and are also working on a list of potential bond bills. 2 of the priorities involve getting laws and language in place that deal with funding mechanisms for local governments. A third focuses on expanding Maryland's negligence law as it pertains to drivers who cause a death. And the final priority is aimed at achieving adequate capacity at schools that serve Rockville residents. The mayor and council are scheduled to vote January 18th to adopt the principles that will guide the development of the city manager's recommended fiscal year 2012 budget. The decision on the guiding principles comes following 2 budget previews this past fall and 1 public hearing on the budget in December. More public hearings will be held in the spring. The process is continuing, and we wanted to encourage you to stay involved by going online to the It's Your Money page to find out the calendar of events and all the ways you can tell the mayor and council your thoughts on the budget. Go online to rockvillemd.gov and search It's Your Money to find out more. Now for our next story, we wanted to give you a recap of the best police stories of 2010. For our final 2 stories, we're taking a look back at our best year in review Rec and Park stories. On behalf of the whole team here, thanks for watching.
Rockville, way to go! These are the finest of the glass artists in this region.